Hello everyone in the Feng Shui for Us group. You are the Feng Shui rock stars. And today I would like to talk to you about defining success. And so I know a lot of you that are in this group are in the United States, and then there's many of you that are from other countries. Now, in the United States, in general, people equate the word success with money or career. When people say, okay, that's a really successful person, what they mean is that person makes a lot of money, or that person is really doing great in their career. But from the Feng Shui viewpoint, success is a global thing. It's not a punctual thing. So it's not that you are, to be defined as successful, you have to do one thing. The Feng Shui definition of success has to do with taking care of all the life areas. And as you know, if you've been following me for a while, there's 9 Feng Shui life areas. And when I'm done with this recording, I'm going to put a link so you can learn more about the life areas on my website. But there's 9 life areas, right? And you have to tend to each of those 9 life areas all the time. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to focus on my health, or I'm just going to focus on my relationship, or I'm just going to focus on my career. Because when you are single-minded in your focus, you end up neglecting the things that are more important for you to take care of. And so you cannot say a person, from the Feng Shui viewpoint, right? You cannot say a person is successful if they make a lot of money, but because they were making a lot of money, they neglected their family, now they are divorced because they weren't there for their family. That person is not considered successful. They may have partial success in business or their career, but they're not a successful person, because a successful person lives a balanced life. And so you cannot say a person is really, really successful because they have a lot of wealth if that person doesn't have health. What good is it? How can you really enjoy a lot of wealth if you do not have health? So there are things that kind of come together, and there are things that they come separate. And let me explain this. So there's certain things in your life that cannot be separate from one another. For example, you have to know yourself in order to have a good relationship. Because if you do not know who you are, you don't know who can love you or who you can love. If you think about a movie, The Runaway Bride, with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere, that's a really good example. If you haven't watched it, I recommend that you watch it. She's the runaway bride because she gets engaged and then she never makes it to the wedding, because basically she doesn't know who she is, and she adapts to whatever partner she has. So she tries to become the ideal woman for that man, and so the man falls madly in love because they're like, she's my soulmate. But she's just adapting to them. She's not being herself. She doesn't know what she wants. And because she doesn't know what she wants, she doesn't know what she likes, she doesn't know who she is, she doesn't know who she can love or who can love her. So those are 2 life areas in Feng Shui that go together: self-knowledge and relationships. And there's other things that go together. For example, family and wealth go together because there's a connection. They both work with the wood element, which in Feng Shui means the tree or the healthy forest. That's the representation of the wood element, right? And so they both work with the key word to grow. Families grow and wealth grows naturally. When your family is not growing, something's off. When your wealth is not growing, something is off. And so right now, in all of the industrialized countries, the birth rate, for example, is negative. So if it were not for most European countries, if not all European countries, if it was not for immigration, their birth rate would be, their demographics would be declining. They would have less people every year. And that means, less people are being born, that people are passing on. And so when the families are not growing, that's an issue. If the family is not growing, you may have issues with infertility. You may have issues where people not trusting themselves to be parents. And people, the moment, if you have children, like you have a son and a daughter, the moment they get married, your family grows. because you have that connection. Now you have a son-in-law, you have a daughter-in-law, and you become related to their family, right? So the nature for families is to grow, and the nature for wealth is to grow. So health and wealth go together. Then another one where life areas go together is children, creativity, and fun. They go together with health of people, spiritual life, and travel. And they go together because they both work with the metal element. And the metal element, what the metal element does is it bends and it obeys. Metals are malleable. You can melt a metal and then give it any shape you want to give it to. And these two life areas, they're connected with trust. And the joy that you have in life when you trust that something's going to take care of you. There are so many things to be afraid of. For example, you could be anxious about anything. The moment in the morning you send your kids to school, they get on the bus, you could be stressing about that bus getting into an accident. And then they go to school and you could be stressing about, will this be the day that there's a school shooting at my child's school? And then your husband goes to work and you may be afraid they're going to have a car accident. Or you may be afraid that they're going to get sick. And so you can live your life, if you choose to, filling up your mind with worries of all the potential things that could go wrong, right? But that's no way to live. If you do that, you're never going to be content, you're never going to be happy, because there's so many things we cannot control. We cannot control every single thing that happens, every circumstance that your loved ones face, every person that they meet. You cannot control. And so sometimes we worry because in the act of worrying, we give ourselves the illusion that is under our control. Like if we worry about something, maybe we can stop it from happening. And actually, the more we worry about things, the more likely it is that something unexpected could happen. Something negative, unexpected could happen, because your mind is being wasted in all of the things that don't help you. You're wasting the wonderful energy of your mind in worrying about things instead of using that energy to dream your future. So you use your energy, your physical energy, to work in the present, but you have an objective, you have a focus in the future. You want things to happen in the future. You work today because you want things to happen in the future. You make changes in your home, you clear up, you clean things up because you want things to happen, right? And that is the way to live. The way to live is by designing your life, by becoming a co-writer of your life. You have a say in the script of your life. You're not a victim of whatever happens around you. And so the way to live is to use Feng Shui to set your intent in all of the 9 life areas. You are telling the world, you're telling the universe, and you're telling yourself, this is what I want for my life. This is what I want for my relationship, for my love partnership. This is what I want for my children. This is what I want for my job. This is what I want for my dreams, right? And so you have to kind of dream your dreams. You have to dream your dream home for it to happen. You have to dream your dream life for it to happen. So that this dreaming that I'm talking about is like what the shamans describe as a projection into the future. You dream by creating a future, but then you have to follow that with action. And you can't move from ideas to actions unless you use emotions to motivate yourself to do the things that you need to do. And so the life areas, I was telling you, some life areas go together and some life areas have to be separate from each other. And so some life areas that you need to separate, for example, are wealth and spirituality. So you have one life area that is wealth, prosperity, and self-worth. Another life area that is helpful people, spiritual life, and travel. If you try, they work together, but in tension. There's tension between the two. But you cannot mesh them, you cannot mix them up. And so, for example, I see a lot of people, they make mistakes. They self-sabotage their business. They self-sabotage their entrepreneurial endeavors because they have this misguided idea that making money is bad, that if you make money, if you become wealthy, then you are spiritually poor. And so that is one thing that needs to be separated. I understand, if you love your religion, if you love God and you want to express that, great. make sure there's an altar in your home where you express the love for your religion, the love for God, whatever you call it. It's just the love for life. You can call it the creator, God, the universe, whatever word you use, right? Or goddess, whatever your religion. But create an altar in your home where you can focus on your spirituality. But do not turn your whole home into a temple. Do not turn your whole home into a church, right? Because when you turn your whole home into a church, what happens is that then there's no room for anything else in your life. And so you're going to feel guilty about making money. You're going to feel guilty about growing your wealth. You're not going to have a passionate love relationship because you're not going to go have intimacy with your partner in a church, right? And so life areas get affected because you try and put spirituality all over the place. So that's something that you shouldn't do. You create a space in your home to express your spirituality, which is called an altar. And yes, you do treat your whole home as a sacred space. You treat it with love. You put light and good energy all over the place, right? You decorate your home with love. You choose carefully every item that comes into your home. And in that sense, you treat your whole home as sacred space. But you do not put symbols of spirituality all over your home. Because another thing that happens is that you start to feel afraid. And the reason for that is this. When you are thinking about prayer, right? When you think about religion, or let's put it this way, people often turn to their religion when they're afraid of something. So you get hit by a fear, and then you say a prayer, oh God, don't let this happen, right? And so when you are having symbols of spirituality all over your home, then you are going to be more afraid, which is not what you're looking for. Like I know a lot of people, they put symbols of their religion all over their home because that makes them feel, they think it's going to make them feel safer, but it's actually the opposite. And for some of us, some of you, if you were raised in a religion that made you feel guilty when you were a child, or that made you feel like you were never going to be enough, there's such thing as religious abuse. So if you were raised in a religion that emphasized fear or guilt a lot, putting symbols of religion all over your home, that's not going to be helpful to you. So I want to invite you to treat your whole home as sacred space, but do that by making sure that every room allows you to live everything intensely and passionately. So make sure that your master bedroom promotes communication, intimacy, and sex. Make sure that your home office helps you be productive and serene. And your family room should promote very fun social times. And your dining room should promote healthy eating. And your kitchen is a symbol of wealth. So make your home into a sacred space, but making sure every single room has the right energy so that you can be happy in all of the 9 life areas of your life, being redundant there. So do that. So the whole home is sacred space, and you make a sacred space, but making sure that each of the rooms encourages a certain type of activity that's going to contribute to your health and happiness. But you only express your spirituality in 1 or 2 chosen spots in the home to designate as your altar, where you're going to maybe go meditate, or where you're going to go to pray, and you're going to have the symbols of your religion. So if you do that, you are going to be a lot happier, and your home is going to be in balance. That is my message for you today. And if you want to actually have 2 resources for you, and let me know if you want the links to that, or hopefully I'll remember to put them in the comments. One of them is the Room by Room membership website. This is a website where I have organized hundreds of articles and videos, room by room. So you go to a menu, and then you see everything that I have to say about living rooms, everything I have to say about master bedrooms, everything I have to say about dining rooms, kitchens, and so forth. And so that is a very low monthly fee, or you can save money by signing up for the whole year. That's the Room by Room membership site. And then I also have the Feng Shui Dream Home Creation Lab, which is a little bit more active because you get to interact with me once per week and get feedback directly from me. So you actually you get access to a huge library of videos, and also organized room by room. So if you're working on your kitchen or you're working in your master bedroom, you can go to those videos and you can learn from that. And then you get to submit the photos of the room that you're working on for critiques, so that I can tell you and give you ideas on what to do, right? And so those are the two things. One is the room by room membership website, and the other one is the Feng Shui Dream Home Creation Lab. And so you can learn what kind of energy each of the rooms in your home should have, so that you can create heaven on earth. Bye-bye.